Yesterday we solved square root equations. Okay, I gave you some examples yesterday. You did some problems last night. I want to give you some more examples because I want you to work a little bit more on this today. Okay, so these are actually the examples that are on the front of your worksheet from yesterday. So if you want to get that out, you can write those examples down here on your worksheet. Okay, I'll give you a minute so you can get it out. Or if you want to write it down on notebook paper, that's fine too. Either way is fine. Okay? So, sample problem, letter A. Very first step that we learned yesterday is that you must isolate the radical. Is this radical by itself? Is it isolated? No, it is not. What do I have to do first to get rid of the radical? Sorry, to isolate the radical. First, I have to subtract 3. So what I have left is 2 root x plus 7 equals 12. Is the radical isolated? While there's nothing being added or subtracted to the radical, it is still not alone because it still has a multiplier. So I have to get rid of that multiplier first before the radical is truly isolated. Now I know that there's stuff going on inside the radical, but I'm not worried about that yet. I just have to isolate the radical first. Okay? Now that I've isolated the radical, step number 2 from yesterday was square both sides. So step number 2 for today is going to be square both sides. When I square both sides, I get on the left-hand side, what do I get when I square something that's being square rooted? Just whatever's inside, right? In this case, x plus 7. What do we get on the right-hand side of this problem? 6 squared, 36. Now, all that's left to do is simplify and solve. Okay? Subtract 7 from both sides. X equals 29. Is that correct? Well, we can figure it out because we are going to be checking our solutions. Okay? So 2 times the square root of 29 plus 7 plus 3 equals 15, right? Square root of 29 plus 7 is? Well, 29 plus 7 for starters is 36, and the square root of 36 is 6. So I have 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12, plus 3 is... Does 15 equal 15? Check. Then I know this is the right answer. Okay? What about B? Step number 1. Isolate the radical. Done. Right? It's isolated. Okay? Step number 2. Square both sides. Squared. Squared. What do I get when I square x? X squared. You guys are geniuses. What do I get when I square the right-hand side? X plus 20. What kind of equation does this now become? It is a quadratic. Okay? If I'm trying to solve a quadratic equation, it must equal 0. So I need to subtract x from both sides, and I need to subtract 20 from both sides. If you need to do that in 2 separate steps, you go right ahead. X squared minus x minus 20. So we have a couple choices here to solve this quadratic. We can graph it, see where it crosses the x-axis. We can factor it, or we can solve using the quadratic formula. Yes, there's others. Those are the three main ones we've talked about. What do you want to do? Factor? If we factor, what does it look like? What multiplies to be negative 20 and adds to be negative 1? So x minus 5 and x plus 4. Absolutely. Now that I have my factors, what do? Set each one of them equal to 0. Very good. So I add 5 and get x equals 5. I subtract 4, get x equals negative 4. So I circle him, box him, square him. Oh no, I gotta check him first, right? Okay, so let's check this one first. 5 equals the square root of 5 plus 20. Well, 5 plus 20 is 25, and the square root of 25 is, does 5 equal 5? Check. Can I automatically assume this one's wrong? You know what assuming does, right? -4 equals -4 plus 20. Okay, so here, this should give you a huge clue. Will I ever take the square root of something and get a -4? Not if the square root's already in the problem, right? Okay, so but I mean I can go ahead and check. -4 plus 20 is 16. -4 equals +4. No, it doesn't. That's not an answer. Yes, you did tell me. You are correct. You are right. I am wrong. Are you ready for C? Okay. Number 1. Step number 1. Isolate the radical. Good. So add 10 to both sides. The square root of 4x minus 3 equals 7. Step number 2. Square both sides. Step number 3. Simplify and solve, right? So I add 3 to both sides. 4x equals 52. Divide by 4. X equals 13. You know that off the top of your head, right? 13? Because 52 cards in a deck, if I divide it into each of the suits, I have 13 cards, right? Okay. Just a little hint, shortcut, whatever. Logic. Is it right? Okay, check it. 4 times 13 minus 3. Well, 4 times 13 is 52. 52 minus 3 is 49. Square root of 49? 7 minus 10 equals -3. What's 7 minus 10? Oh my gosh, -3 equals -3. Math. So yes, this is the answer. Okay, how are you feeling about this? Any better than yesterday? Okay. I hope you have a great day. I'll be back on Friday.